Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Council on Future Conflict, episode 675. We're talking White Lives Matter and Iran War Day 94. We're testing the YouTube AI banning filters or whatever today with our title of the show. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. I mean, it's not we're not doing this to be obnoxious. We're just saying like shit. We're reporting on what the fuck is actually happening in the world.
We're just laying it out there. Yeah.
And this is the clash of culture we keep talking about. That's going to be, listen, there are some people who like to be edgelords and like to, go along like racial things, right? The one thing that I've learned living in America my entire life and working in the United States Army for most of my professional life, it stopped being about race and became about culture, right? You can pull people of any race out of their culture if they choose as individuals to leave it behind, right? What we're seeing is that the British government has chosen other cultures than the English culture and when you do that, you're inherently saying the people of this island don't matter as much. And the irony here is white guys on one side and white guys on the other side. So this is literally white guys fighting white guys because, a migrant who has not assimilated to English culture murdered, a young man.
I'm going to disagree with you. I bet you a vast majority of those cops are not white guys.
Well, I mean, I only say that because there was another standoff at a different location where all the cops were white guys. Wow. I mean, so it was really interesting. They were standing like at the top of some stairs, like at a town hall or something like this, right? And so like the crowd was down on the stairs, and they were literally getting up in their face and like pointing at them at their face, and their face was uncovered, right? They didn't have masks or riot shields or anything like this. It was just kind of like regular police outfits, right? And they were getting in their face and saying, shame on you, blah, blah, like just really kind of like shame. And it wasn't like, F you and all that kind of stuff. It was like kind of like the kind of things like if your grandmother got upset at you would say to you, like you should be ashamed of yourself. No young man should ever, or no police officer should ever do anything like this. And you can see it in their faces.
If the races were reversed, there would be the entire country would have burned down by now, right?
100%. And one of the other things, I mean, we're not going to go down the rabbit hole just yet of this riots that we saw over the NOAC, and the thing that sparked it was the release of the actual arrest footage, which we'll watch that too, and it is absolutely
horrendous.
I couldn't fucking believe it when I saw it, and so we'll watch that, and that's what has sparked this. The other contrast I want to draw, Joe, when we talk about this, will be the contrast between what we talked about in New Jersey and this. One is completely astroturfed. And the other is, I felt like this. I mean, I'm not going to say there, Tommy Robinson showed up today and there were some other kind of media type people there, but I don't feel like this was astroturfed. It felt very organic.
What's interesting about the British government is that they won't let Shank in and they won't let Hassan in, but they let Tommy in now. And Tommy used to have a hard time going into his own country. So interesting.
Yeah, well, mostly they wouldn't let him leave.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Because he was, always under some sort of like arrest detainer or, he just got out of prison or getting ready to go back into prison. All right. Joe, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm wearing the Rainbow Ramadan shirt to celebrate the season. Hug a Navy person today if you get a chance and tell them you're happy it's their month. So Rainbow Ramadan.
Hey, watch your full screen, Joe. I want to point out his patch collection there over the.
Look at the CFC patches right there,
right between the two Blackwater patches. I like that.
Yeah, well, I thought units I've served with. There's the South African Hoos patch up there. Me and Gideon and our little private security company. A lot of good ones, But also, because I care so much about Scott, I wanted to make his transition back to civilian life in the U.S. as helpful as I can. So I picked up
yes.
of Korean barbecue spam. So when we're sitting here drinking some soju and Baja Blast, we can have some Korean barbecue.
Oh, that would go terrible with that, but yes, absolutely. The
you you having lived out of the country for so many years that you're jumping right back into the frying pan by moving to Louisville, Kentucky, of all places. You're going to see racial disparities that have been amplified in the last several years. So.
Well, with not having a job when I get back, right? Like, because I'm fully in the whole job seeking mode, and I've got a couple things that you and I have talked about, so I've got a couple irons in the fire, right? But none of them will like it's nothing like a day job will give you a new place to actually go, and so until I'm able to get back under my feet again, my parents have been nice enough to say, listen, don't feel like you had to spend any money. You can say, here we are. The house is big enough. You and Katie and your wife can stay here. And so I'm just curious how long that is going to last.
Well, I just want to say, how nice of your dad. That's nice of him.
It is
a
very
nice guy.
Look, man, there are worse people to live with than your parents. They're awesome.
I was just going to say.
Yeah.
And the best story, though, is that first night at your dad's house, your dad makes me the special Bobby Ray, right? This is Bobby Ray. And Scott goes, where's mine? And Scott's dad goes, you live here.
Yeah, I have no idea how to make the damn thing. That's what that information only exists inside your head, Dad.
So listen, I have gotten a commitment from the infamous and indomitable Bobby Ray McCullough that he will be making Bobby Rays right here on site. So,
well,
he says the trick is the ice. The trick is the ice. So.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, like, it's his deal and whatever. I mean, Karen
Arctic Boy says, I mean, your dad is pretty dope.
Karen says, and Scott, tell your parents you can. Oh no, this is not the one. It's this one right here. You have no idea about Louisville now. If he's smart, he'll live outside of Jefferson County. Well, the good news is they live like out by Prospect, so it's pretty de-urbanized out there. But still, I've heard some stories. So
yeah. Your parents' neighborhood is very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Y'all are in trouble now. That was the monster sound.
Yeah, that's it.
I've already killed mine. I just got it, and I've already killed it.
Oh, like, dude, we got them at the same time. I'm just opening mine, and yours is gone.
Yeah, mine are gone.
Oh, I gotta find mine.
I wouldn't say I'm golden, Karen, but it's definitely better out there than it is in some of the other spots, for sure. My daughter is worried that we're going. Speaking of Louisville, my daughter is worried that she's going to have to go to Ballard High School, which she's like, it is literally known as the worst high school. Like, even though they have like advanced programs and all that kind of stuff, they still got all the other like hooligans and whatnot. So she's like, I'm not looking forward to that. All right.
Hey, listen,
Watcher, how you doing?
I just got a comment from somebody about me not writing an article for a long time.
I thought you put one out yesterday.
A man very important to me died. That kind of he kind of put a damper in things, and we're a little busy out here. So,
well, I could, I mean, since you haven't had the ability to put an article out, I guess I could promo the fact that I have put out another article. Let's see here. Let me share my screen here. Over on the Future Conflict Locals page. Yeah, there we go. Look at this. Socialism doesn't corrupt. It is corruption. This is the one that we passed around the other day. Joe, I made a couple corrections on it, but basically I took the from last Wednesday's show. I basically took the thread that we talked about with this guy from Spain who's basically a communist and all the corruption around him, and then I kind of echoed it back to some of the things with other communist regimes and the idea that, listen, it's not like communists are thieves. It's like you have to be a thief to be a communist, right? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like only those kind of people can be successful in those types of. So I hope you will go. I'll even drop the link for this article right here in the chat. Let me do it over on Locals too. Oh, you know what? I don't have Rumble open. Shit. Anyway, so I will. There it is. If you would give it a look, I always feel it's like I've been wanting to write these articles for a while. Now that I've done it, I want you guys to go over and actually like give it a like or whatever. Let me know that you're seeing it. If you can, feel free to take the time to make a comment. Let me know if you disagree. The idea is ultimately I'd like Locals to be a place where future conflict kind of ruminates a little bit, like where we, put a little discussion into it.
I didn't check it when you put it up. Now you said you made some edits. Did you edit out the part where you said I was right? I'm pretty sure that's the part you edited out, right?
Well, I can't, here we go. Then Joe pointed out something that stuck with me. He said these systems don't just allow corruption. Yay. They built in a way that makes corruption the only rational way to operate once you're inside. Yep. So there you go. Joe is right. Literally. And then Jim, I talk about Jim here. So yeah, and I quote Hayek, and
Jim has a birthday coming up.
Oh, we'll have to see about.
I won't tell you which one, but it's on the schedule.
So anyway, go check out Future Conflict Locals. We're working hard over there. I want to make sure that you guys are, about it. It's one of those kind of things. Like, it's not like we have an advertising budget here, so we don't really have a way to tell you other than to literally tell you and show you here on the show.
Unrelated, but I wanted to share something with everyone. We all talk about like how the potential for civil conflict is out there, but a lot of folks think it's not going to happen in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
Echo Lake, Montana is a flashing light that consists of a school, an auto shop, a nursery, and a restaurant. They have a fake police car that they park there to try and slow down the traffic because it goes from 70 to 45.
It has an inflatable police officer in it.
Yes, that one and both Swan Lake and that one do. But 2 nights ago, not last night, but the night before, the vehicle was destroyed by local activists who wrote some things on it and did some stuff. So my point is, if it can happen in Echo Lake, Montana, it can happen literally anywhere that you are.
Yeah, that's 100% there, right? Anyway, Watcher, how you doing?
I mean, less good now that I learned that my favorite inflatable police officer has been abused.
I know, it's terrible, right?
Well, the one in Swan Lake, the one that has the Krispy Kreme donuts on the dashboard, that one is fine. It's the one the next town up.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I liked both of them, but dang it.
Is it the autopilot one, like the airplane autopilot?
Yeah. You have to blow up the autopilot? Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say anything like that's gross, Joe, but you went full send like immediately.
I went full send on it, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, Watcher. So you're sad that the Officer Donut Krispy Kreme is gone.
Yeah.
What else is going on in your world?
Man, just trembling in dread, looking at my bank account as I put money into this little side venture. I'll tell you though, a lot of things keep working out in a lot of great ways. So I am very excited. I will say publicly too, I'm also very humbled by the number of people who've reached out and asked if I am willing to take investors in this venture. I will let you guys know if I ever do open that door, but at the moment I'm trying to see if I can. It's a little bit fun to just see if I can bootstrap it on like absolute minimal money, you know?
Which one is this again? You do
The
so
crayfishing.
many things.
The
The
crayfishing.
crayfish.
People have also seen the exact market opportunity I am. Man, when you're talking about something that I can get like $7 a pound for, that I can pull out for free and in very large numbers, it makes other people also excited because they see the potential I do.
I mean, my question, you know, and of course, you know, me and Joe, it's mandatory that your drinking buddies have to throw wet blankets on all your excitement. My only problem is like, how does it scale, right? Like,
Well, that's the interesting part, is that I'm not trying to be the only guy here. Basically, what I want to do is get started with a processing facility, and then get a program started where I get other people on the water actually doing the fishing, and then I can focus expanding the processing facility and expanding the sales as a category.
okay. I mean, you know, I haven't run any numbers, so I assume you have, and I wish you well. I want you to succeed, Watcher. You know that.
Heck yeah.
Sure, you know I love you, but at some point you got to pick one.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. If this works out the way it like, you know, when you start something and you expect there to be problems, and you just kind of go, I'm just gonna see. This is kind of funny. We'll see. I'm starting this kind of as a joke a little bit. We'll see how it goes, and then literally every part of it just falls into your lap, and you expect at every turn to be like, well, this is going to be why no one's doing it, obviously. And then you call and you find out, no, in fact, that person's willing to help you too. In fact, they want you to do it a lot. It's very weird, but yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see.
No, that's good, man. I mean, you know, it's you know.
So I'll give you this one. The biggest update is this. I just got told that the local agricultural canal companies have crap tons of them there, and they're actually like launching programs to try and get rid of them on their own. And that would mean literal trap lines that I can just drive in my pickup from one trap to the other. And that's like 30 minutes to do a whole trap line.
That's cool. All right.
On that note, on the night of June 25th, we're making a massive pot of jambalaya just down the road from the camp here, and I fully intend to be there for it. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Real quick, somebody asks processing. Do I mean picking them up after they've been cooked? I mean, yes, there's going to be a lot of boils going on, but that's not the only way. And in fact, restaurants really want to buy just the tails. You cook them and then pull the tails out, and then what do you call them? Vacuum freeze them in little packets and 1 pound packets. That's what they use to make crawfish etouffee and that kind of stuff at restaurants.
Yeah, it's basically shrimp with claws at that point.
And that sells for $17 a pound.
But listen, if you do that, save the claws and pull the meat, and then you can sell
Correct.
processed meat too.
Yeah. In fact, just so you know, that's actually how lobster rolls went to any other part of the country except for Maine. Is that like nobody wanted to buy the claw meat in Maine, and so there were all these lobster fishermen who had like thousands of pounds of claw meat that was building up in freezers, and somebody was like, "Hey, wait a minute. Other people don't know that the claw meat's not as good. We could literally just start selling this as lobster rolls."
I remember hearing stories about the poor kids in Maine back in the 80s would always eat lobster sandwiches because they had tons of lobster that additional lobster.
Boy, that'd be tough. I would really hate to be a poor kid in Maine having to eat lobster sandwiches all the time.
But you know how it is. You know how it is, Joe. It's kind of like for every guy out there who wants to date a hot girl, there's a guy dating a hot girl that doesn't want to date his hot girlfriend anymore.
Right.
All right. Well, Watcher, on the note of brotherly love, check your PayPal. I have
Appreciate you, boss.
I'll
look at it here in a minute.
Make sure you pull that off of the IOU.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do.
because I don't think we're fully closed out on that one yet.
No.
I think we're getting close though. All right, let's move on, shall we? We don't have anything funny today, do we? By the way, let me just say this. So it came out like not too long ago, actually, that Spencer Pratt is the number 2 in the LA mayoral race. So it's going to go for a runoff in November, I guess, between him and Karen Bass. So that means we have 5 more months of Spencer Pratt AI ads to look forward to.
Is that like, this is like the digital internet version of Puxatawny Phil seeing his shadow, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah.
5 more weeks
like
of election.
Bollywood, but not as fun.
No, not 5 more weeks, Watcher. 5 more months.
Oh God. So I did see a pretty good take on this, and that is that I expect that Spencer Pratt will learn in roughly 4 weeks that he took third by exactly 0.1%.
Right.
Yeah, you mean after they've done the recount? It looks like he's got a pretty sizable lead over the number 3, like at least 7 or 8 points.
If we go by the true Democrat playbook, the next 5 months will be spent trying to invalidate his initial petition to run.
That's right.
Oh, the signatures are not valid.
On November on election day, Spencer Pratt will be in jail, and he will have been.
Honestly, that's how they got James Craig, the former Detroit police chief, off of the governor ballot against Gretchen Whitmer. They ruled that the signatures were not valid. How do you do that? Right? Yeah. Like, what do you compare them to? Where do they come from? They just decided, oh, these are not real signatures, and erased his candidacy because they knew he was going to beat her.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that is
the only Republican who could have carried the city of Detroit. They invalidated.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm not even that optimistic, and I hate to be the dark cloud here. I like Spencer Pratt. I like what he's doing. I like that it's giving people hope. I also look at information that says that even as the number 2, he's still only polling at 30%.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those kind of things, and I think the turnout's pretty low now too. I think his supporters turned out pretty well, but I think overall, and that means there are a lot of. Well, the good news is it's kind of glass half full, half empty, right? Los Angelinos are still completely complacent and uninterested in politics in general, right? And then on the other side of that is that if his supporters are excited and he can only get 35%, 33% or whatever it is, then he's, he has a lot of ground to make up, and he's done really well. The registration numbers in LA County aren't even close. They're almost 2-1 registering new voters as Republicans over Democrats, with independents being a distant second to the Republicans. But so we'll see. I mean, who knows? California, not for long. Yeah, I ultimately I would never live there if I had any real choice in the matter. So it doesn't really matter ultimately to me. It's just entertaining. All righty. Let us go back to what we were talking about here. Nothing funny, so we'll just jump right into it, shall we, gents? We talked a little bit about South and Central America going to kind of doing a hard right wing shift, or the right wing is rising in these areas. So this one is kind of like an adjoinder to that. President Trump has endorsed right-wing Colombian presidential candidate De La Espriella after he defeated the leftists in election round 1. Right wing is rising across our hemisphere. He is facing a literal Marxist. Abelardo fights tirelessly and loves. So this is Donald Trump's. Let me read that here. Let's see. Congratulations to the Colombian presidential candidate El Tigre, Abelardo de la Espriella, a strong, smart, and tough leader on his decisive victory in the first round of the Colombian presidential election. He fights tirelessly for and loves his great country and people like I do for the United States of America. As President Abelardo would be a tremendous success in leading Colombia to grow the economy, create jobs, promote trade, stop illegal immigration, crack down on crime and drugs, and restore law and order. He will face off against radical left Marxists on the runoff on June 21st. The results of the election are very important to the future of Colombia and its relationship with the United States, because his tremendous accomplishments in life and his political support for me personally, it is my honor to give him my endorsement. I don't remember like American presidents giving endorsements to foreign leaders running. And
his political support for me. Why does he have to say dumb stuff like that?
I know.
And why does he have to capitalize words randomly?
I don't understand it either, Joe, but I've long since tried to understand it. It's kind of like understanding what your dog is actually saying when it's barking at you. Like, it's like, it's unknowable.
My dogs talk to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, moving on. So, by the way, somebody said, who was it here? Super chat Patrick 7 said for $5. Said, what happened to the free member chat once a month? Not seeing as an option for some reason. Just making sure YouTube isn't messing with you guys. So in response to that, I didn't see anybody respond to, but Phil Coughlin gives a member chat. He's been a member for 45 months. Man, it's a long time. Thank you very much. If you don't have a sign, you need out of LA and Cali. Karen Bass's reelection is at 100%, right? That's,
Patrick, we just want to take more money from you specifically, so we've disabled it on you.
On you, yeah. So you have to do super chats if you don't mind, please. Thank you very much. If you would do another super chat just to make sure that you're still there and you heard us announce that, we would appreciate that. $10 would be fine. I'll read that. No problem. I'm sorry. Earl Corgi, member for over 4 years. Man, that is crazy, Joe, that we've got people who've been members of the channel for over 4 years, man. Like, I can't believe we've been doing this that long. But that's awesome. Watcher is a modern Renaissance man. He absolutely is. He is a
Well, the man part I'm not so sure about. He's sort of a Nephilim. He is not necessarily a man.
Personally, I like dollar store Buckaroo Bonsai myself. But.
That's a good one. One of the Watchers. One of the...
But I'm sorry. Patrick 7 comes back with a $2 super chat and says no.
Oh boy,
love you guys. All right, Lance.
And Jim tells you, yes, I've heard of Ebonics. In fact, I'm fluent because I am from Detroit. Anyway, carry on.
Yes, ma'am. I speak jive.
I didn't ask you that question.
Victor David Hansen says the Champagne communist multimillionaire class is happy to be supporting Karen Bass so they can treat people as lab rats for socialism. Yeah,
That's right.
Well, and the sad thing is that if she gets reelected, she's probably going to do some kind of surface level, shuffle around the homeless people type of deal. But it'll still cost you billions of dollars. It won't. California is absolutely not a serious place to live anymore, and LA is the least serious place of them all. I mean, as unlikely as it is, I think LA really needs somebody like Spencer Pratt. And a guy like Spencer Pratt could actually potentially do it because he doesn't know what is possible. So he'll try to do everything. And a lot of people will surround him. Will try to get their own agendas in there. But ultimately, a guy who's pissed off is exactly what I think LA needs. A Hunch Dirty Roofer for $2 over on Rumble says, I thought interfering in foreign elections was wrong. I don't think this is interfering as much as it is just, I just think it's weird. Just like an endorsement
being
like
facetious,
this.
You know that, right?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm trying to, with Hunch, you never know. You never.
Yeah.
Karen says, never did I think I would hear Spencer Pratt running for mayor. Never. I'll be honest with you. I had no fucking idea who he was until he ran for mayor because I do not watch the kind of shows that he was on.
Although I think citizens being wronged by their government is the best way to get people to run for office.
Oh, I agree. And, and this is me not knowing who Spencer Pratt is has nothing to do with whether he's a good guy or bad guy. It just, he was not in the political game, right? And I think people getting involved in politics because something bad happens, 100% Joe, I agree with you. It's kind of like these folks in England, right? It's like a lot of them just want to go to the pub and drink and hang out with their buddies, watch football on the telly, but instead they murdered that kid. Those police officers murdered that kid. At least were accessories to it. And that pissed them off. And now they're getting involved in politics all of a sudden.
You could make a case in that for accessory after the fact through negligence, right?
Yeah, gross negligence.
Look, man, I'm all about it. But if we want to talk about accessory, how is the dad and the brother and the mother not being charged with accessory?
Yeah, I think they have.
Oh no, the mother has been charged.
Yeah, I
just
think
for evidence tampering, though, right?
She's charged with tampering with evidence for removing the knife. Let's go.
All right. Let's move on to our next then, shall we? Anytime Cory Booker can look stupid, I think is a good opportunity to dip our toe into the internal politics of the United States. When it's Marco Rubio making him look stupid, it's even better. And when it's doing it over some sort of a foreign policy issue, well, then it's right up my alley. So apologies, gentlemen, if I didn't wait till Domestic Friday before showing this, but
no.
I thought it was pretty good.
The only apology you owe me is that this is the first time I've seen this face in quite a long time where it wasn't wearing a new outfit being posed for a new job.
Well, this is Marco's. Are you fucking stupid, dude? That's what he's thinking right at that moment.
Look at the guy to his right.
So for the nuclear program, in exchange for getting rid of the fissile material out of country,
Cory Booker's got the
fissile material is Jesus.
Rewind it. I didn't hear that. I was too busy looking at his crazy eyes. Him and AOC had definitely got the crazy eyes down.
So for the nuclear program, in exchange for getting rid of the fissile material out of country.
I'm sorry. We gave George Bush shit for mispronouncing nuclear forever, and you're going to come out with that. Oh God.
Is what the highly enriched uranium. We would release sanctions. Is that correct?
Well, it's not just that. It's also their enrichment activity. They would have to, they would have to make very severe and significant concessions on what they intend to enrich.
And already with the...
I know that I personally am engaged in a process of fiscal enrichment as well.
The March relaxing of sanctions, allowing Iranians to sell oil to the Chinese, estimates have been between $10 and $50 billion they got from that relaxing of sanctions. How much money might we see in a deal in our relaxings of sanctions in order to get rid of the highly enriched uranium?
Well, let me just
some say I got in trouble for saying something along these lines. and I can't imagine why.
There was a little double humor in that, yeah.
Sanctions that were released on Iran were boats on the water. And so that oil was already out in the marketplace. It was sold at market rates, but the sanctions covered, and to the extent we've been able to enforce them, we have the revenues of those sales. So yeah, the Iranian oil was unsanctioned so that it could be sold, but the revenue would have to flow back to blocked accounts, which our sanctions were able to go after. We've also seized, I believe, 6 vessels in the Indo-Pacific that involved Iranian sanctioned oil on top of it. So that wasn't necessarily a trade. They didn't get $50 billion directly as a result of. They might have gotten some of it. They certainly didn't get the majority of it. They are now losing hundreds of millions of dollars a day in revenue because of the blockade. And the blockade exists because of what they're doing in the Straits.
Right. And I guess the conclusion I have, and my time's expired, is that the Strait of Hormuz was open before this unjustified war. We're now scrambling to try to find a way to get it back opened again. Not only is it causing economic havoc to our country and to residents all around this nation, families trying to make ends meet, but you see on top of that, the Iranians finding ways to leverage that, as we allowed them to do with the Chinese for tens of billions of dollars. And so my point is, before we even get to a nuclear negotiation, this regime is getting money to rebuild, purchase more drones, cause more havoc.
How are they getting money?
And this is before we're even trying to get back to a
But I apologize. I don't understand how they're getting this. What revenue are you referring to?
Well, there's two sources of revenue we're seeing. One is the revenue from the Chinese, that's factually documented. And number two, the revenue that you're proposing that they should receive by releasing all of their highly enriched uranium, as well as
I'm sorry. I have to. What revenue they've been receiving from the Chinese? The roughly 1/10 the amount that China normally pays them for the little bit of oil they've been able to get out since we imposed the blockade.
Well, here's the other thing too. When you're Iran and you can't buy anything from the rest of the world, you don't really need a whole lot of cash, right? Like, what you need is stuff. You need supplies. You need weapons. You need things like that. If anything, China is holding on to their money for them.
I want to point
go
out,
ahead.
somebody said that Booker pronounced that the way you pronounce Ukrainian town names, and I think that's accurate.
Well, I mean, see, I'm leaning into the meme at least. He doesn't even know he said it wrong.
Fiscal material.
Fiscal. All right.
I'd love some more fiscal material. Thanks.
The real stupidity is coming.
Yeah. Hold on. And that was the exact deal that you guys vilified, that the president and you vilified President Obama from having.
Yeah. No,
So
I
here
don't
we
think
have
those are
a
not the same.
worse situation where
Those are not the same
our
deals.
adversary and our enemy, who's causing havoc in the region, who is funding proxies and terrorists, has discovered, thanks to you all, the power of shutting down the Strait of Hormuz.
No, they didn't.
Well,
They did that a long time ago, and they've done it before.
Clearly, we all knew that a long time ago. That's why this
And they
Well,
agreed to do this at some point
war
in the
should have
future.
never.
I'm not going to
But-
lie to you. This is literally as stupid as, but Guam might capsize.
Yeah, this is a perfect example of just let Cory Booker talk for a while, and he will show you exactly how stupid.
Well, here's the
he is.
best thing. It's somebody on the left who just acknowledged that Iran is the bad guy, because for the last couple of months, they've been talking about how poor Iran is being attacked by mean old Donald Trump. So it's actually pretty good there.
Happen.
Yeah,
We
but
have made our adversary in a stronger negotiating position. We are the strongest nation on the planet.
How? How are they in a stronger negotiating position?
Well, I think I see where he's going with this. When you kill 99 out of 100 leaders, that means you only have one guy left to think about the problem, and it's easier for him to make a decision. I don't know. Maybe
Right.
that's what he's
Right.
thinking.
Planet Earth, and we're in a stalemate with Iran. And now we're begging to get back into a deal that you all
We're not
trashed
begging.
in the first place.
there's no one begging. I don't know.
Clearly, this is a
Senator
shame.
Booker, your time's up.
But
Senator
can I just-
Rubio, since he's
I do
gone
want to
over, you
address
can
some of these points
respond.
because they go to the heart of the matter. No one's begging for anything here. The Iranians might be begging because their economy's losing hundreds of millions of dollars a day. That they are losing. Understand, Iran had street protests going on before all of this started. All of those factors, economic factors in Iran, are far worse today than they were 6 months ago when those protests were happening. They have hyperinflation. Their currency's completely devalued. They're struggling to make payroll for their government workers. Iran is in a very serious situation. And if it was up to the political class there, and I understand everybody there is sort of radical in some way, but if it was up to the people that actually go to elections and wear the suits and you see on TV, they'd probably make a deal tomorrow. It's the issue they're facing is that the supreme leader and the IRGC Corps are a little bit more immune from those pressures until they can be convinced otherwise. And I think that's the
I.e.,
direction
we could
we're
drop
moving in,
bombs on
because
them.
the reality there,
Yeah.
I don't know where you're getting this perception that Iran is stronger. Iran has no navy left. They've lost a substantial percentage of their defense industrial base. That Iran has lost a substantial percentage of their missile launchers, and their economy is far worse today, and I mean far worse today, than it was 6 to 9 months ago. And they are looking at hundreds of billions of dollars of reconstruction costs just to get to where they were 6 months
Mr. Rubio, you keep telling us how we're winning this war. The president keeps saying,
well, the war's over
completely
now.
annihilated. The war is not over. And yet the American people see how we're losing at the pump and with their costs, and yet this thing still hasn't been resolved. Every day he tweets out, oh, we've obliterated them, we've annihilated them, they're going to surrender, but yet we still find ourselves spending billions of dollars a week
Yeah, Senator
on
Booker,
a war abroad.
you've gone way over. And
So anyway, I just like watching him look stupid. I know it's Iran related, but because it was Marco Rubio and Cory Booker. Now, here's the great thing: like when you're talking to Cory Booker, you don't have to be some genius, right? All you have to do is just kind of let him do the talking, and he shows his own stupidity.
The hardest part is keeping your mouth shut and not refuting his nonsense. And just letting him talk, because he says such nonsense. You feel like you want to correct him, but the best thing to do is just let him cook. Let him cook. And Durner raised a good point. Like the left seems to have had Red Sea amnesia. But the Mandeb Strait has been closed for a long time, and the economic things were just as bad. But everyone wants to act like the Strait of Hormuz is somehow worse. When that oil comes out of the Strait of Hormuz, it then comes all the way through the Gulf of Aden and enters Al Mandab and has to go up to the Red Sea.
Yep.
And and
then
that's
Suez
been closed for a very long time.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's definitely it's way more complicated than what Cory Booker is trying to make it out to be, and we're in a lot better position. I mean, like, let's be honest. He talked about the gas prices being up and there still being a threat. I think we found out today, yes, Iran still poses a threat, but they are in a much weakened position than where they were 6 months ago. And the problem is not that they're gonna that it's not over. The problem is it's not over yet, right? And we have to figure out exactly the right amount of. And I hope and pray that the president and the Department of War figure out a way to end this sooner rather than later. My worry is that it just won't be. I think Iran is going to do everything they can to hold on just so the Republicans get punished in the primaries. I mean, in the midterms. But all right. Anything else on that one, gents? Cory Booker, what a fucking
breaking!
Joke.
Cory Booker is a moron. Film at 11.
Film at 11. Yeah. Let's show the tape. I'm sorry.
By the way, extra credit to Jim Tells You for the audio daily double with Fist Kyle. I haven't even seen Kyle.
All right. This next one is another. This is a problem that we've talked about as a legitimate problem here. A security problem. But the interesting thing is how the Treasury Department is now going to take so how people who had unpopular opinions were getting debanked. And the government, the Biden administration said, no, we didn't have anything to do with that. Bullshit. I guarantee they did. It happened during COVID very heavily.
What was that operation called? Operation Chokehold? Or Choke Point?
Yeah.
That was the entire purpose of it.
And then even going back to the Obama administration, they had a policy of allowing companies like gun companies and to be debanked, or the credit companies would not process gun related purchases and things like this. So just doing everything they could to make it hard to conduct legitimate transactions. Well, I like they finally taken that and they're kind of putting it on its head, right? So let me just read this here. Actually, Bessinet is we have a video of him. Let's see what he has to say first, and then if I'll see what what he doesn't read, and I'll clean up.
Look, we know that these rats will turn on each other. We heard today that one of the people who has been convicted of fraud, she was given $200,000 to bribe a juror, and she was so corrupt she skimmed $80,000 of it and only tried to give a $120,000 bribe. So we are going to offer
Now that's fucking cheap.
whistleblower payments to anyone who wants to tell us the who, what, when, where, and how this fraud has been done. And I think that will give us a great leap forward on how to get it done.
All right, so let me read the Trump's statement here. Funds will ultimately face impoundment and seizure so they can be returned to taxpayers. It's not ludicrous, but profoundly dangerous that the illegal alien can simply present a blue state driver's license or a Biden border document and have unrestricted access to the United States financial system. I recently signed an executive order which will be led by the Treasury Department to stop banks, credit cards, and financial institutions from being used to facilitate human smuggling, drug trafficking, illegal immigration, and the criminal cartels who orchestrate these activities. Access to our nation's financial systems must be limited to those who have a legal right to be here and who are engaged in lawful and legitimate commerce. Bank accounts being used to enable illegal immigration or to store the welfare received by illegal aliens will be shut down. This also sends a clear message to the anti-ICE rioters that your violent disruptions are only strengthening our resolve. My executive order will also allow us to stop billions in leaving the country in all manner of criminal activity. It's been said that this measure we are taking is the most effective means of reversing Biden's border invasions. We shall soon find out. So I do agree. I think going after the money a lot of times is the fastest, swiftest way to disincentivize a lot of this activity. But we'll see. I mean, these have a tendency to be a little on the messy side because just because it's a good 90% solution doesn't mean it doesn't do 10% of damage. So we'll see where this goes. Joe?
Well, while I'm a fan of investigating fraud and all of that, I'm not a fan of civil asset forfeiture. You have to be able to establish 100% that it's the proceeds of a crime before you can take it, not the other way around. And I'm worried that we're going to do it the opposite way, right? We're going to take the money and make you prove how you got it. Look, I'm anti-Somali immigrant too, but let's do it right. Let's prove the cases and then go after the money. So I think it's a good thing overall, but I just want us to have a cautious approach to it.
Yeah. I mean, the key thing is there are people who should have every legal right to the financial institutions, and nobody who should have the illegal right should lose it because we're going zealously after people who don't have a legal right. So it's kind of it's the old you let 10 innocent men go free just so you don't put or 10 guilty men go free just so you don't in jail one innocent man. That's probably a good rule of thumb for this. But anyway, Watcher, what's your take on this?
Out loud.
Is he even talking?
Sorry, yeah. On Blackstone's formulation in general, or like I think asset forfeiture needs to go away. Like I think it's been abused to the point that it just needs to go away.
I'm talking about this whole idea of using access to the financial institutions as a way to put pressure on people who are doing things illegally in here, specifically illegal aliens doing things illegally here, as we saw, with the Somali fraud. I think this is an intersecting thing. It's not just Somali fraud, right? It's also, the drug cartels trafficking people across the border.
So limiting access
disincentivizing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Limiting access to our banking system is not asset forfeiture, and I'm all for that. Like, I used to be very against it, and then I realized, there's literally nothing we can do. The left is already doing that against us. They're debanking people,
right?
And my arguments for, hey, in the modern day, banking is literally like you can't function as a human being in the modern world without banking. Those pleas went unheeded, and so now I just kind of think turnabout's fair play.
See, that's the bad route to go down. We must take care when fighting evil and all that stuff. But I'll say this: the reason why I brought that up is because this is take the guns first, get due process later, Don. Right? That's the reason.
I think I think if you're using it as a tool during an investigation, I think that's the wrong way to go. It could be part of the penalties of some sort of.
Exactly right.
But ultimately, I think honing in on what I think that you were talking about, Watcher. I think it should just be the basic rules of our financial institution that you have to be here legitimately in order to use it.
I mean, look, I think it's fine. I think whatever rules can be established, whatever. I think that rules that we're talking about, I think that we all pretend that like stuff works in a vacuum. The only way that we get a rule that says that everybody gets access to the banking system is if you hit the other side enough that both of you agree that we're going to make that a rule now and everybody's going to respect it, because if we don't, everybody understands what the consequences are. We're not at that point.
Act, not everybody gets access to banking. You have to be able to prove your identity and lawful.
Yeah, so there you go.
Status in order to get a bank account.
Right.
Hey, well, by the way, and just so everybody knows, because again, this happened to us directly. A lot of the time right now, they are having a legal identity when they open those bank accounts. It's just not theirs.
You're right. Yeah. So there's two sides. There's two sides of it. It's fraudulent ID, which meaning you're using stolen social security numbers and things like that. But then the problem, but the thing that I think they're really the BestNet was talking about is these states that have now said it's okay for you to get a driver's license if you're illegal.
Well,
right?
So as long as we're bringing that up, you guys saw that the Supreme Court just declined to hear Florida's case over that, right?
No, I didn't hear that.
So yeah, Florida.
I want to address a question that came up in the chat. Does the golden rule not take pause when in warfare with evil? No, it does not. And I talked about this last night in an article on Locals where we're studying the book on resistance to force by evil. 100 years ago, Ivan Ilyin wrote this book in response to the Russian Revolution. And his fifth rule for the use of force to resist evil is that you have to always check your motives to make certain that you are not letting evil grow in you under the guise of fighting evil, which is the same thing that Nietzsche said with, when fighting monsters, one must take care not to become worse than that which they claim to be fighting. No, the golden rule does not take a pause when in warfare with evil. Sorry. Besides, if you actually read the Bible, it allows some pretty wide latitude in warfare. You don't have to break any rules. You just follow what's in there. Like putting heads on spikes is in the Bible, perfectly legal, according to God. So,
all right, Joe. No more sparring with the chat today.
Ironically, you don't get to tell me what to do, but okay.
I say good luck with that one.
I can request all I want.
No, it's not. It's not. It's just I'm just clarifying a point.
Yeah, I know. I got you. No, what you're saying is actually completely on target with. I just saw popcorn power basically kind of taking you to task. I'm like, don't fucking don't feed the troll,
gents.
That's pretty good.
All right. I think that's all of our odds and ends for today. Joe, you want to talk a little bit speaking of articles on Locals, you want to talk about tactical-wisdom.com? Sure.
I got a good article on there about not letting the constant doom scrolling get you into a Peter and the Wolf situation where everyone's crying wolf, so you let your guard down. You have to keep your guard up. There's still bad things going on. And there's some practical steps in the article you can take to make sure you are in good spots. CWSB, I don't get it, but whatever. Okay.
That's what I talk about, Joe. Focus on your thing.
I meant to start my section with something we overlooked, and that is the death of Peebo Bryson. That is a dang shame, and we ought to have a moment for Peebo Bryson. So,
I'm sorry, who?
I was just going to say, please educate me.
Yeah, I don't know this.
These guys do not know who People Brought. Were you alive in the 80s and 90s?
Well,
That is sad.
I may not know his his hidden name that you're using.
I was
What are you
alive.
talking
Real
about?
name.
I was alive in the 90s, but I was not aware of very much outside of my small neighborhood play group.
What is he
Peter
known
Bryson
for, Jim?
was a soul musician, fantastic guy, good singer, Grammy award winning. Anyway,
What song? I'm legitimately curious now.
a million of them. They're all gospel, so you probably wouldn't know very much about them.
That's probably true.
Or R&B, I guess. He did a lot of
I'm gonna
songs
look
for
him up on
Disney,
Spotify.
actually.
All right,
He did a lot of stuff with Luther Vandross, but anyway, it's good 80s stuff, I guess. I added some classes to the Tactical Wisdom training calendar. The one-day pistol class after Mountain Readiness is there. And hey, while we're at it, Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe these two cats and I will be on with T from Mountain Readiness, along with Kay and a couple of others, to talk about Mountain Readiness West coming up July 24th to the 26th, right here at Camp Ponderosa. Get over here and check that stuff out. Come hang out with us. We've got a fun 3-week period all set up, and I've got several people who have reservations for all 3 weeks. So feel free to come on out. I understand there may be a Dawn sighting during all of this, and Mrs. Dawn. And there'll be all kinds of other folks here. So it's going to be a really, really good time. Come and join us. Come and hang out. And like I said, check out the training schedule. Sign up for a class, will you? Classes are fun. We have good things going on.
All right, I admit that I guess he did a whole new world, like the Aladdin theme.
He did a lot of Disney music, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only thing of his that on the top 5 here on Spotify that I recommend.
You've never seen The Lion King in your life?
No, I'm saying on the top 5 that are here in Can You Stop the Rain? I recognize that one, but I don't know if it's the same thing. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast, the soundtrack. But like, if ever you're in my arms again, that's his most popular song. I just listened to like the first 30 seconds of that while you were talking. I never heard it before.
Are you serious? You've never heard that song before? Oh my goodness!
Maybe if I got to the chorus, I would, but I didn't. I stopped it because I can't listen to you. And
my man, you need some culture. We're gonna help you out.
Well, you know.
Oh man.
I also don't know the name of the one-armed drummer from Def Leppard, but I know who. You know, I appreciate his music. I don't know his name. All right. John Blanche. Oh, I do know who John Blanche is, the Warhammer artist. All right, gents. A little brush beater ad. Let me all right, here we go. In the midst of the UK Northampton riots exploding with White Lives Matter protests clashing against authorities, and Iran war rapidly heating up again with fresh strikes and escalating tensions, the world is growing more unstable by the day. When streets turn chaotic and normal communications fails, you need real tools that actually work. Brush Beater Store has you covered with the AR-152 Pro, a rugged, high-performance handheld radio that built like a tank. 10-watt tri-power output, massive 12,000 milliamp battery, built-in GPS and APRS tracking, expanded frequency coverage, including airband, multiple antennas for superior range when cell service dies. Back it with the RTO course, hands-on, no bullshit training that teaches you how to build your own SOI, manage frequencies under pressure, and run secure group comms in a high-threat environment. Get the AR-152 Pro at brushbeater.store/product/AR-152-Pro, or enroll in the RTO course at brushbeater.store/collection/training. Use code CFC10 for 5% off all radios, accessories, and courses. Orders over $100 shipped for free. Big thanks to Matt at Brush Beater Store for powering the Council on Future Conflict as Northampton burns with White Lives Matter protests and Iran war heats up. Head to brushbeater.store, enter code CSC10, and build the connected security presence your community needs. Now, back to the show. A lot of good shit on it seems like every time I look at it now, there's new offerings that I don't even know about.
Look, he's got some new suppressors that are pretty solid too. Don't think it's just radio gear and night vision anymore. There are firearms, suppressors, ammunition, all kinds of good things.
Well, Joe, one of the things that that I've been kind of following with some interest is the growth of the 3D printed, like good for 100 round suppressors. Even could take rifle. Like, have you seen these, Watcher? I know you're the 3D printing guru here. What's your take on those?
Yes. That I'm surprised it took people this long to realize that they were that good. I've been telling people this for a couple years now.
But these aren't even metal. Like they're still
of
just
course,
like
doesn't need to be.
Yeah,
In
like
fact, if you talk about actually, it's mostly plastics or carbon fiber laced plastics, or nylon laced plastics. Anyhow, I've been trying to tell people for a while. Look, if the suppressor can potentially sag over time and cause baffle strikes and all that kind of thing, why not make it out of disposable material if it's going to go bad anyway? Or at least the inside portion. A lot of these things, the inside portion is what's 3D printed, and it's swappable. And then the outside can is metal, so it looks nice.
Well, I mean, so like what you could do is you basically, if you wanted to be all legal about it and everything, you could do a tax stamp for the sleeve or whatever, and then just
that's literally it.
Swap out
and
the
then,
interiors,
and then the interior part is a what do you call that? Consumable.
Consumable. That's like the old. What was it like in the old days? Didn't they try to make you actually do an individual tax stamp for each baffle, removable baffle?
Yes.
That they wanted you to put in like the old, what is it, the wet baffle? Baffle. I can't remember. You know what I'm talking about, though, the soft baffles that they had inside.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, like I said, the only thing that surprises me is that it took people this long to realize that the technology for 3D printing like perfectly matches this. You just have to get out of your head what a suppressor is and just focus on what a suppressor does, and then try and do that the most efficient way possible to the customer.
Yeah. Joe, what's your kind of take on these consumable cans?
I'm still baffled at you two trying to wrap your heads around why you need to beg permission from your government to just do things when you can just do things. But
if you choose to be legal, Joe, I mean, we have to say these things when we are on the air because that's the way it works.
Gents, I'm sorry.
Does not always equal moral or right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt what I think is an important conversation. I think we should probably take just a quick moment and address that. Joe, don't you think the Amazon wish list situation or no?
Yes and no. Let me finish the answer to the other one.
Okay.
Listen, buy quality suppressors and you don't have that problem. That's really the key thing. Get them from reputable manufacturers, read reviews, see what other people have had with them, and buy good ones. Not everyone is capable of 3D printing or has the will or fortitude to learn that stuff. And nobody wants to be tearing them apart and rebuilding them because that creates wear and tear on some of the other internal components and the body. So I recommend you just buying a quality suppressor and sticking with it. And if you feel like doing the paperwork, do the paperwork to show everyone what a good little rule follower you are. All right, on to the wish list situation. There have been a lot of issues with Amazon. Like half of the things that were ordered on these wish lists show as purchased by you good people, but they have never arrived. And when I attempted to ask Amazon to look into that, they told me, well, you only have 30 days from the date of delivery to dispute it. I'm like, but if it was never delivered, the 30-day clock should never have started. And they're like, yeah, but we have it marked as delivered in our system. Like, that's neat, that's cool, but because it's from an Amazon wish list, I don't get notified when somebody makes a purchase, and I don't get notified when something gets delivered. So, long story short, if you order something from our wish list, please just drop a note or something to me somewhere letting me know that so I know to be looking for it, so that if it doesn't show up, we can immediately dispute that with Amazon, not for me, but for you, because it's your money that's being spent and not actually making it to us. So I definitely want to make sure if you guys are taking the trouble and the effort in these tough times to make a purchase for the camp, I'd like it to actually get here, or you get your money back.
And
So
if enough of you help us follow up with this, they might be able to figure out where the hole in the system is. If you
where the
catch my
glitch
drift,
is, we'll fix the glitch.
Yeah,
I
well,
suspect it might actually be in my local post office, but what do I know?
it as much as you would love to just kind of surprise Joe with a package showing up on his doorstep one day, in order to guarantee that he actually gets the package, you need to let him know that it's coming. That way he can.
Yeah, we could be looking for it.
And then another thing you can do is providing Joe the tracking information when you get it, all that kind of stuff. That way he can run that stuff down for you. Because Joe, didn't you say something along the lines of like, oh well, since it's for you, you could just track it, but because you don't order it, you don't have the tracking information.
And I get like the list is there, and the only way I know something's been bought is if I actually click and change the list view to purchased, which I rarely do. Because why? I just want to see what's on the list and add to it.
Yeah.
And I like being genuinely surprised when things show up, but apparently Amazon is not down with that. So we have to just,
I like
better.
Andrew's answer. It was the bear.
It's entirely possible.
Does a bear shit Amazon packages in the woods? Yes, especially if they eat them.
Nope, center of the road, almost always.
All right. Anything else, guys?
Boy, I guess I will just say, as we move into this next segment, I just want chat to be prepared that it's obviously a very solemn topic. But I will be injecting levity because the memes have been fire.
Yeah. So let's not start with memes. Let's start with Watcher. I've got let me
Different one than I have now.
Yeah. Let me give
the same
you
one.
Did you guys hear Thor in the background?
Yeah, we can. I can
Slightly.
Look at the
Private chat. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go address that real quick.
Are we gonna watch the actual video? Okay.
Yes, we are.
This
All right.
depresses me.
Yeah, it's depressing, but I think it's worth watching. Let me just kind of read a little bit about the incident here. All right, so he was murdered on December 3rd, 2025. Henry Nowak, an 18-year-old British university student, first-year accountancy at the University of Southampton, originally from Essex, was stabbed multiple times. Reports say 5 to 6 times, including the heart and leg, while walking back to his student accommodation in the area. His killer was Vikram Digwa, a 23-year-old British Sikh man, stabbed him to death with a large ceremonial blade that he claimed he was allowed to carry for religious reasons. Digwa then lied to arriving police, falsely accusing Novak of racially abusing and assaulting him. And then we're getting ready to watch the police body cam footage. Showed the officer.
Hold on, Scott.
Yeah.
Just pause for a second. Your audio is doing the thing again, and I think generally, literally just pausing usually fixes it. So let's see.
All right. How better
Fixed.
now?
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Stabbed him with a large. Let's see. Officers showed up initially believing Digwa's account. They handcuffed the dying Nowak, who repeatedly said, "I've been stabbed. I can't breathe." Instead of immediately treating him as the victim, Nowak collapsed and died at the scene. One officer has since resigned, and an independent officer for police conduct is investigating the response. All right, let's watch this. Just to keep in mind, I saw a post from an American police officer saying, if I showed up at this scene and I saw one guy standing around agitated, the other guy's down on the ground and obviously in distress,
No,
I would.
There were so many warning signs.
Yeah, I would literally have my buddy handcuff the guy who is up and around until I could assess the scene, and that's when I would have found the stab wounds, because you don't ask somebody who's dying if they've been stabbed, especially if they can barely talk. So you know, I don't know if British cops just don't handle this kind of shit, or if they're so fucking.
Are you kidding me? Have you seen the statistics of knife crime in London?
I know. I'm just saying. I just don't. It's got to be political. It's political indoctrination.
Well, no. Look. You know, as long as we're going here, we'll start. I think that I don't even remember where I saw it, but I saw it this morning. What happened is that the cops are inundated into a system where racism is the highest offense. Look, picture this: if they're on the job and they get a complaint about, like, against them for beating a suspect, do you think that will be as big of a deal as a complaint against the UK police about racism? Which one do you think the UK police investigate more? Which one do they?
Let's watch and let his actions speak for themselves.
My dad's talking about He keeps dropping side to side, so I'm just trying to keep him set up.
because he's fucking
He's got a level of blood. I don't want him.
I can't breathe. He was on the bin on the other side of this gate.
He's jumped over these fences and stuff like that. And he's up
Move
here.
away, mate.
He's obviously fallen from there and he slipped from there.
There's other shooters left over there, mate.
What's your name, mate? Huh? Has anyone been hurt other than him?
Yeah, me.
He's grabbed my brother. He's took my turban off. Started grabbing my head.
Are you
stuff like
injured?
that. Yeah, I've got swollen eye, little bruise.
Oh,
Alright,
my God.
step back a little bit for me. Someone flag these down.
Got this stabbed.
Right, let's get you out of there, shall we?
I was in bed asleep. Whenever we just phoned up, they looked, someone attacked me. I can't breathe.
Grab his other arm.
So I've just come running, we only live on St. Dennis Road.
Right.
I'm running around the corner.
What's happened to you, alright?
Been stabbed.
You've been stabbed? Whereabouts? I don't think you have, mate.
I don't think you have.
There's blood on his hand right there.
Yeah.
Hand?
I mean, look how pale his hand is.
I can't breathe.
Put the hand in the cuff, mate.
Handnosis is a thing. Those hands are blue. That tells you something is wrong.
Can't breathe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Can we get a van for it?
90 foot.
Nothing happened.
He's saying he's been stabbed, so
Where
let's
is it
just
you
check
think you've
him.
been stabbed? In the face? Oh no, but we have to check, don't we?
You know, the
Fuck
irony
literally
is, you know,
every person involved.
we talk about needle decompressions like something that you don't normally need. Like, I don't know exactly what he has, but this sounds exactly what, like,
That sounded
tension
like a
pneumo-
needle decompression might have actually worked.
Yeah, tension
it's just-
pneumothorax is what that is. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Listen, when you went to handcuff him and you noticed that his hands were lifeless and not flexing, and they were that color,
Yeah,
that is a very bad sign.
they're probably also cold to the touch. Now they probably can't really feel that as well with those gloves on, those Nalgene gloves. But I don't blame them for wearing the gloves. I mean,
Stop. Let me start from the beginning here. What about this scene indicated that he needed to be put in handcuffs for anyone's protection? He was literally laying on the ground, incapable of standing.
yeah. The fact that the guy said I have to hold him up because he keeps falling down.
So what about this indicated that he needed to be placed in handcuffs? For any reason. Was he attacking anyone? Was there, even the people who claimed that he attacked them, they were very obviously not attacked.
They're like, is anybody else besides this guy hurt? And this guy's like, yeah, I might have like a little red mark here above my eyes. So clearly I am the victim.
Yeah.
Right.
In the face?
Just get these back off, get their details and that, and I'll keep hold of him.
Hey, brother, I can't breathe.
Should we?
Right, keep you on your side, mate. You better retrieve then.
Say again.
Saying to him, keeping him on his side. We were sat up when we had him here, but he didn't like it. What's your name, mate? At the moment, you are under arrest, and that's for assault, so you do not have to say anything, may harm in defence. If you do not mention when questioned, it's up to you later line of court. Anything you do say, maybe.
This officer has just realized that he might be dead.
Yeah.
You're giving it evidence, right? It's gonna be sick, I think.
But she's the one that says his pupils aren't responding.
What exactly is he under arrest for?
4821.
Thank you again. What? I should not keep talking.
I just want you to call it.
Yeah, we've got this male. He's
Just-
been beat up. Are we able to get an ambulance, please?
Just now, they're thinking an ambulance. His pupils aren't even right. Yes.
Yeah.
So, just to reset, let's read this member chat for 6 months. Yardic Boy, thank you very much, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, you've been around longer than 6 months. You just had a lapse in your membership, it looks like. Kirpon stabbings aren't new. Same thing happened in Vancouver in 2023. Dude got stabbed for telling a guy to stop vaping around his 3-year-old. Yeah. You know, I've got nothing in particular against Sikhs in general, but you know, when a group like this behaves consistently, they are demonstrating they may not be compatible with our culture. But what do I know, gentlemen? What jumps out at you with this scene that we just saw?
You know, I'll get into that. I just want to get onto what you just said before we move on, which is you know, it's funny. I have an awful lot of friends that I like that I wouldn't want to live with. Right? There's a lot of people that I would be fine with as friends at a distance, right? But that I would not invite to live alongside me.
Yeah.
Why is this any different? Anyhow,
dude got stabbed in the neck and bled out in front of his wife and 3-year-old.
I think that the fixes for this are something the British people probably don't have stomach for, and I think that means that it is a sad but clear path on where this goes.
Joe, your point in the chat actually is they literally saw this kid and saw the victims and made a value judgment.
They made a complete decision. Yeah. Based entirely upon skin color. Well, I've got a brown guy here claiming somebody was a racist, and I've got a white kid here who can't talk to me, so the white kid must be the one who's wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. That's literally exactly what happened.
Yeah. By the way, the point in the chat was made, and I think this is correct, that tension pneumothorax is from when the air builds up in the chest cavity versus blood, which is hemopneumothorax.
However, at the point of injury, right there, it wouldn't
they
matter.
have no way to know. You're right.
The tension pneumothorax treatment would have solved either problem because it either would have let air out the tube or let blood out the tube. Either way.
Yeah. But the difference is that in the blood situation, you're still probably going to bleed out from the internal. You know, you may get air, but you'll still bleed out. And so, yeah.
But that takes longer, which is why the steps for life saving are restore the bleeding.
He got a little bit of air in and said, "Screw you, bastards!" before he died.
Yeah, exactly right.
Kevin Dorff for 5. Yeah.
Let me read this. $5 here says, FYI, cops checked his phone to see if he had any racist content on it, and when police notified his dad, they took his phone to check for bad content too. Yeah, this is absolutely the police. The police
they
not
were hoping
only
to justify their behavior, right?
So we've all heard about this idea in the DEI era of systemic racism, right? What we are seeing consistently with this case and other cases in Europe or in England specifically and other places or generally is systemic racism against the white population, the native white population. In this case, England, but it probably many other situations. It could be America. It could be, but because you're white, there's this baked-in idea that white people have privilege, so we need to not give them any special. But in doing that, you take the victim, the perceived victim that is non-white, and give them special rights, and which is not right. Andrew for $5 says next time Kira talks, someone should wheel out an AV cart from grade school and play this.
Right. You know what? A lot of the younger generation doesn't remember an AV cart, but yes.
Yeah, 100%.
How to tell your teacher had been drinking heavily the night before.
Yeah, AV cart is in the classroom.
Yeah. I just remember how quickly they rolled that AV cart out of the classroom once the space shuttle blew up. I was oddly enough, I was in the only classroom that day that didn't have a built-in TV into the. What was funny is like we had built-in TVs into our classroom. I thought it was so high tech, but now that I think about it, they were like box TVs hanging from the ceiling mounts, right? And which if I saw that now, I'd be like, oh my god. But yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, this is the whole situation is absolutely horrendous. And like seriously, when you roll up on an incident, the first thing you want to do is see if anyone is injured and deal with that first, right? There was no active combat going on, so there was no need to immediately restrain that guy. He wasn't being violent with them, so there was no need to detain him immediately like that.
I don't know who said it, but it was a Brit, and somebody popular Brit or whatever. But he's like, this is exactly what we need the death penalty for. Like, we need the death penalty for these types of people, who callously kill a young man in his prime like this, and then if it was a misunderstanding and they got into a scuffle. And then they said, yeah, we got into a fight and I stabbed him and he died. I was defending myself. If he had said that and didn't present it with all the extraneous stuff. But what happened was I think they moved the kid after the fight so that it wasn't in the exact place where he got stabbed. And then on top of that, they said that he said all this racist stuff he pulled my turban off, which may be true, but he probably did it after you fucking stabbed him. You psychopath. And then on top of that, all the things that the victims did to him, right? Then the police show up and actually,
I want to point out that the police's actions absolutely made this thing worse. So your body, if you get a chest wound, your body is unconsciously going to roll over and put that to the ground to try and protect itself. When they rolled him over, they created a different internal pressure situation, which likely made it worse.
Yeah. Well, and it did, and never mind the whole the father keeping him upright against that wall probably did a lot of damage too.
Yeah.
Technically, he was not. Jeff Trey, he was a Sikh, not an Indian, but the Sikhs are from a region of India.
Sikhs are Indians.
I've
heard a Hindu, but he's a Sikh.
Yeah. So I mean, there are Sikhs in Pakistan too, though. So I mean, it's not like a exclusive group, but they are generally considered Indians. Yes.
What was the official name of Pakistan beforehand?
Oh yeah, it was part of India,
Muslim
right?
India. Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. What is it? The Mughals? They were.
It was called Muslim India.
No, I'm talking about what was the name of the empire before it was the Mughals, right? Like that was the name of the
ruled by the Tipu.
Yeah. Little sharp reference there. Kevin Dorr for $5 more says Rent Boy lover Keir has already said they're going to prosecute protesters to the fullest extent of the law, just like the Southport. Here's the thing, man. The British people have got to show they are fucking sick of it.
Well, here's the thing. You can't prosecute protesters. You can prosecute rioters. And the fact that he used the word protesters should tell you something.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing too, right? I mean, the sad thing is that these people who are throwing the bins, and we'll watch that here in a minute, are the ones that are going to ultimately they're going to have the law come down on them with both feet. I recommend if you're going to attend these protests, and you should attend these protests, do so with a mask, protect your identity, leave your phone at home, because I guarantee the Brits are sniffing out every fucking cell phone in that area, have no digital trail on you when you go to these things. As much as you'd love to videotape it for your social media account. Whoa, Rich Turner. Rich Turner gifted 5 subs to Future Conflict over on Rumble. Thank you very much, brother.
So, yeah, leave your phone on and somewhere else, right?
Yeah, let somebody else talk to, like call numbers that you normally talk to, or, and have them have it activated. So you can prove that you were not in that location. You were, in fact, FaceTiming with your mother. All right, let me kind of go on. So that was the murder, December 3rd. So recently we just had the trial, late May, early June, and sentencing. Digweed was convicted of murder and possessing an offensive weapon on Monday, June 2nd. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum of 21 years. Should be the death penalty. If he was in America, he would have got death. The judge rejected Digweed's racism claim. Additional charges were considered against members of Digweed's family for related offenses. The Nowak family pleaded for the death not to be used to promote division or hatred, emphasizing that only Digweed was to blame, and calling for focus on knife crime and safer streets. So even in his death, his own family betrays him. Because they don't hold on a second. Because they don't point out that this is a clash of cultures, not some sort. They're trying to make it look like this one guy, independent of anybody else, did this horrible thing to him. No, this was a fucking gang attack, and the gang in this case happened to be a family.
His whole family was involved in covering it up.
Exactly right, and not because they were a criminal gang, because they were Sikhs, and the kid their son murdered was not. So, watch your. I'm sorry. You guys
no. You're fine. I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say though. That it's somewhat ridiculous. It's more than somewhat in a lot of different ways. Not only has this come out as, oh, the poor Sikhs. They're literally like doubling down on, we're not going to change the laws, that while British citizens can't even carry a butter knife, Sikhs are allowed to carry sharpened, long, ceremonial daggers everywhere.
Just because it's called a ceremonial dagger would not have a sharp blade, right? It would probably just be a piece of metal with a dulled blade. Because it is ceremonial. No, these are fucking sharpened, daggers that could have been used in a battlefield 200 years ago.
I'm trying to find it now, the Solzhenitsyn quote, because it overlays perfectly. In the Soviet Union, if the criminal had a knife in order to stab you, that was considered normal and he wouldn't be punished for it, because that's what criminals do, right? They have knives. But if you had a knife in order to defend yourself, that was an act of terrorism.
Correct.
Yeah. Let me... all right, so protests and riots. All right, so on Tuesday, June 2nd, hundreds to over 1,000 protesters gathered outside Southampton's Central Police Station, marching towards the area near where the murder happened and close to the Digweed family home. It happened right in front of their home. Protests turned violent. Protesters threw missiles, including bricks, bottles, chairs, flares,
for not remaining silent,
and wheelie bins. Some set on fire at riot police. Officers in gear were pelted and forced to retreat at times. Chants like Henry, Henry, and references to I Can't Breathe were heard. Injuries, 11 officers and 1 police dog were hurt. I feel bad for the police dog. It wasn't doing anything wrong. 2 people were arrested. Figures like Tommy Robinson and Nigel Farage were linked or commented on the protests. The government condemned the violence and hijacking of a tragedy. Oh, no. The left would never hijack a tragedy, Joe. While critics pointed to perceived failures in policing knife laws, especially religious exemptions, and two-tier responses to crime racism concerns. So that's kind of where we are right now. Let's go through some of this footage here. Joe, I'm sorry, I kind of like with long in the mouth there. What was your kind of, overall, what was your assessment of this? It didn't seem that bad, honestly.
No, I think that their idea of a riot and a protest there is not the same as ours, right?
Yeah.
These people were expressing some righteous indignation, and I think that's okay.
It didn't rise to the level of Parisian soccer celebrations or anything,
right? Or Chicago ones, for that
well,
matter.
I was gonna say I didn't see any mobile, electric scooters on fire. So,
right. This is what happens though when people are pushed too far, right?
Yeah.
Braxton posed a serious question yesterday. I'm going to find it real quick because it's relevant to this discussion. Let's see. I know I shared it, but let me just look for Braxton. It actually really goes into this.
I haven't seen Braxton on my feed in I don't know how long.
You got to look for him sometimes. But right here, at one point, do young men whose jobs are being given to foreigners, neighborhoods are being destroyed, and whose women are being passed around on the internet for $5 a month decide that they have just had enough?
Yeah.
That's a really good question, right?
I'm struck by a wheel. I don't think you have.
I love this one. I don't think you have, mate. Somebody threw a brick at me head. I don't think they did, mate.
Jim's telling me to check our DMs here. Let me see what he's got. Let's see. Is it in the fan chat?
What?
I don't know. Jim said he said, oh, maybe my DMs. Maybe it's my DMs instead of. I was looking in the future conflict. Yeah. Okay, here we go. What is this? Yeah, so this just before we go on to the rioting, this is who the killer is, right? Watcher, I'm gonna put the link in the chat here. This is a previous incident when he was like 18 years old, but man, he looks like he's fucking 35. In this footage here. So this is video emerging of Vikram Digwa, the killer, brandishing. Oh no, he's not. Novak was 18, brandishing a sword while threatening others in a road rage encounter. He's got a fucking sword. Look at that shit. I thought it was a woman with a beard at first.
It is.
He obviously has great control of his emotions.
Gents, it's reasons like this. There we go. There's the Benz flying. It's things like this road rage incident I just saw that makes me look forward to being able to carry a gun everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm. For ceremonial and cultural purposes.
Yeah, right. It's my culture and my and my. Listen, that is actually a great case being made for that yesterday. Pope Urban II urged Christian men to all carry swords to defend themselves against Muslims, and he's not wrong. It was all the way back in 1095, in case you're wondering. I will never understand the way British people dress. I'm sorry.
Wait, they got dressed? I thought this was like what they were in their house and just ran into the streets.
Came out.
I love how it's like June and they're wearing jackets.
Yeah.
These are the same people who just 3 days ago were dying because it was over 70 degrees.
Yep.
Hey Joe, I'm gonna send you a picture. This is part of a series of pictures that was sent to me in DM. I'm sending it to your DM right now. This is close hold. These cops are absolutely getting bodied, though. I mean, they're like, we're out. We are not.
Well, there's
like,
also like 12 of them. Why even show up if this is all you can muster?
I don't know, man. It looks like more than 12 to me. I think it's like closer to 40, but like the earlier ones just said deuces, like and like we're out.
I told him you would probably like that, Scott, by the way.
Yeah, I was not happy with his estimate of my waist size. I'm like, no, come on.
Yeah, I know, right? But he asked me in the beginning what patterns he should suggest. I was like, dude, I know you need to have this one in there. So cool.
Yeah. I think it'll look good as shorts. More missiles coming in. You can turn the sound up a little bit, Watcher. These English guys are
Yeah, that's funny.
They cheered for him when he caught it.
No. Look, they're cheering for this guy who came out of his back alley to kick at him from behind.
That guy's actually pretty good at blocking those things.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll have it.
Oh! He got hit in the helmet.
He didn't block that one.
Guys, we are lively. We are right in the thick of it. I know. They're going to get in trouble here. Racist police off our streets.
This is how you know they're not American cops. American cops would have called for an MRAP to extract them.
That's true.
Rather
Do you think
than
they still
trying
have
to do
Saracens?
the Mogadishu Mile getting out of here?
Do you think they still have Saracens?
Oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah, Saracen.
This woman's like, what the hell?
Try and get through for a bit of safety.
Squishy Hunter, World Star. Yeah.
Come under attack, and they're still coming under attack as we speak.
Did you see the other guy?
Yeah. All these people standing in the yard keep waiting and tripping them.
Get back behind your line. Stay in your lane, officers. Stay in your lane. So they come under attack along the road, had to come back. I'm not sure where they was actually attempting to get to, but oh my.
They're trying to flank you to push you out of the street.
And they didn't realize how pissed off these people were, bottom line.
Well, they're used to literally just being able to walk all over them because that's generally how things go. Is that the government says do X and everybody does X.
Yeah, they're used to that, and the people are like, you know what? Maybe it's time to just stop. And I hope that that's a trend, right? I hope it continues.
Yeah. I love it when you guys send me cool links to cool things.
Popcorn Power asks, was that a woman in the police line? Hey, man, I don't know where you've been, but they've got women on the police force everywhere now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be racist not to have them.
Yeah.
I don't know about everywhere. I bet some pretty traditional countries out there probably only have male police forces. But we are talking about the UK, so.
Well, that is racist of you to even suggest that, Watcher. I just want to point out. This is an actual, yeah. So this looks like the spot we just picked them up at. Now these cops are getting pushed back. I mean, these are not the cops pushing in the people. The people are pushing the cops back.
You know what'll happen is Keir Starmer will announce some sort of a day where they drop taxes on beer, and these guys will all find their way to the nearest pub, and that will be the end of this.
Yeah.
They know their market, right?
Yeah.
They're throwing bins! Medium bobber here. How you doing? Mental. Yeah, I don't actually endorse violence.
Into the wheelie bins, the famous wheelie bins.
Sorry. Oh my, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. Very polite. Joe, I will say that this is actually some of the best riot footage we've seen in quite a while. It makes it much easier to watch when I absolutely think the people involved are A, honest, and B, have a legitimate reason for being there.
Yeah, while that's true, does this level of street action get you what you want? Or does it give them all the more reason? Hey, man, buy the right size pants, please.
I know. Please, we don't.
Does it give them all the more
crack.
reason to crack down on you?
Yeah.
The place to do this was probably not in the neighborhood, but at your local council building, right?
Well, the thing about it might be right that that you need to be ready for step 2, right? And step 2 goes a little further.
Yes.
And step 2 also opens you to, like action that may not be something you could just walk away from. And I don't mean like violence. I mean like serious legal implications.
Yeah, Raging Psychosis, my crackdown pin was not intentional as that dude's crack was shown. It was not. I was saying the words and it happened, and I'm now traumatized. But CWSB nailed it. He goes, I thought this was about Great Britain, not Djibouti. Well played. Well played.
Yeah, well played. Hunch, I just want to let you know I've just lost a bunch of time to that link you sent me. So I need to step away. I will return though. All right. Let's go down the next one. Watcher. Let's see. What do we got next?
Next topic is next.
Oh, the next topic is okay. So there are a couple things I wanted to. So here is some bloviating by Keir Starmer. Let me drop it in the private chat. I'm curious to see what this windbag has to say.
Warning, it will only infuriate you.
Oh, yeah.
Grieving family have asked us not to respond in the way that the leader of Reform has responded.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Sorry. Which is, I get where the family is coming from on this, which is I'm sure that there is some kind of UK agency like the one we have over here that tries to manage these things in their ear, basically telling them, hey, you have to say this or else you're going to be a target and all these bad things could happen and blah, blah, blah. I am very glad that we as a society have essentially decided we don't really need to listen to the parents who are essentially being made to make those statements. Just do what needs to happen.
Yeah, it's a hostage video, right?
They've asked us not to. They have lost their son in the most appalling circumstance. They make a simple plea of us as human beings to please not exploit that. That is their plea to us.
Again, we might have all believed some of that before we found out about the existence of all these various different organizations you have run around to threaten white parents every time their children are killed by black people.
We all need to reflect on those words of Henry's father. My response, and the response of others, to be fair, has been focused on the lessons to be learned so we can deliver justice. His response has been to appeal for rage.
No, I'm
Good.
sorry.
Rage.
This is a time for rage.
Good. Yes, absolutely it is.
That's his response to a father who's lost his son and ask for that not to happen. Exploiting this tragedy to create grievance and division would be wrong in any circumstances, but to do it when the family are expressly saying, please don't, is unforgivable.
Pause it for a second.
I'm done. I can't.
Is it wrong for the police to be putting out statements saying, a kid would have died anyway, so our actions don't matter? Because that's what they said this morning.
Yeah.
Is it wrong for the police to have made the assumption that the white kid was the one in the wrong in this? Those are all things that breed division that the government agents did. And all Nigel is saying is maybe we should do something about this. There is a time for rage.
Yeah.
Now here's a cage. The next one is a little rage on the police part, who decided to take out their frustrations with getting fucking bodied by the regular everyday people there by giving this guy multiple knees to the back of the head. That's probably not gonna be the right way to subdue a guy like that. I'm just guessing.
Listen, I'm just going to say that Solzhenitsyn lays out exactly the position that I believe the British are in, and I believe that is the point at which you need to ask yourself, Brits. We'll call it Solzhenitsyn's gamble, right? I believe you're exactly there.
That's actually a great thing. That is the question to ask, right? That is the question to pose.
The next one is Nigel Farage in response.
Just a second, let me treat the volume.
I think this is where he's
Following
talking
the
about
horrendous circumstances of Henry Novak's death, can I urge the Prime Minister to consider this? It is now clear to growing millions in this country that we're living under two-tier policing. The instructions that are given to police officers from police bosses are clear and written down in ink. It says you must treat different ethnic groups in different ways. That, apart from the upset and the anger at the circumstances of his death, the anger that you saw spilling out in Southampton last night, and which is in danger, condemn the violence, which is in danger of getting considerably worse, because if the public lose trust, condemn it. If the public lose trust in being treated fairly by the police, can he take some action, end this divisive practice of two-tier policing, and make sure that
condemn the violence?
Dear everyone saying condemn the violence, fuck you, I hope you get drug out in the street.
Yeah, go
British
fuck
citizens
yourself.
are treated the same.
So I don't know how you can look at that video and in any way disagree with what he said. The contract between the police and the people is broken, 100%. They arrived not concerned about anything other than protecting the Sikh person. And Wade put it right. They were in such a hurry to get back to their station and post a picture on Facebook of the hate crime person they took off the street. That's what they wanted to do. They want to be seen as protecting these people without thinking that they could possibly be lying to them. Why?
But something I wanted to. This is a little mean. Yeah, this is good. This is in the back of a lot of people's mind, right? Because what we have is an invasion of incompatible cultures in the Western world, right? And the Western world is what guys like us who focus on culture. Like, we don't focus on race, right? We don't focus on who's a Jew or who's a Christian or who's a whatever. We focus on good guys versus bad guys. That's kind of the easy line to draw, right? And an individual of any religion and or race could be on either side of that line. So that being said, culture is absolutely at the heart of almost every one of these conflicts. This is just me talking, right? I'm not speaking for anybody else. But the thing you have to remember is there is just an endemic weakness in our culture because of reasons. And a lot of it goes down to white guilt and all this other kind of stuff. Watcher, I want you to play this little meme here. I think this is kind of a good reminder of where this could go, because I could see a path to this clearly. And it scares the shit out of me because honestly, it doesn't go anywhere good for all of us. Have you seen this, Watcher?
Buddy.
No.
Who the fuck colonized the world? Who the fuck went out on some rinky-dink fucking boat that thought they were going to sail off the other side of the ocean, and they went to an entire different continent and fucking attacked everybody? So if you actually want to press me on this, and you want me to say that I think there's a possibility that white people could be more violent, I would tell you yes. I would say you can look at 1,000 years of colonialism. You can look at Europeans killing Europeans, Vikings going out there for the love of the game, fucking freezing their ass off on the North Sea just so they can raid a monastery and steal a little bit more gold that they're not even going to use. Like, yeah, absolutely, I could say that. Yeah, so you want me to actually, like, really, you're going to really press me on this. You're going to really say, like, well, why is it that this is happening? I think that you can look at thousands of years. Who the fuck else? By the way, I know some other cultures did this, but can we be honest and say that it's overwhelmingly white people? Who the fuck builds a boat with 1 million guns, 1 million swords, all the cannons in the world, and infinity gunpowder, and says wherever we're going to land, they're going to be Christians after this, and we're going to run this shit? You know who does that? White people do that. And we've been doing it for 1,000 fucking years. So you want to press me on this? You want to really say, oh, well, you know, are you sure it's not racial? No, I'm not sure.
So this is where it gets dark at the end here, because this is where it could go. All right, you can put bars down. That's pretty much the end.
Put that imagery in there. He was right until that point.
I don't think that was him. I think that was somebody else who took his video and edited other shit over the top of it.
Yeah. So here's the key point here is that don't recognize what we are showing as weakness, right? It's what's called restraint, right? We scared the shit out of ourselves during the 20th century with what happened with Hitler and the Nazis, because that was them taking white culture to its nth degree, and then in seeking to enslave and subjugate racial identitarian politics on, well, anybody they could, right? And that's where it could go. And everything we've done since then has been some sort of like this kind of European guilt for what happened in the 20th century. And I think what you're seeing is we're getting to a point where the fatigue has built up. And it's not like what we're talking about on the internet with black fatigue. It's cultural fatigue has built up to the point where you have completely non-racist people saying, why should I be upset about being white? Why can't I be proud?
I've said this repeatedly that the European descent person has two things going for them. It is being the absolute best at warfare and the absolute best at organization, so we can store food and stack bodies. And that's how we ruled the entire world, despite actually being the global minority.
Yeah.
And we felt guilty about it because they used slavery as a club to beat us with. But Europeans actually practiced slavery for the shortest period of any culture, including cultures which practice it to this day.
And oh, by the way, our culture was so revolted by it. It was the British who ended slavery worldwide for a time. Now, it has come back since then, but not in the Christian world, I might add. It has only come back in the Muslim and Central Asian world. So just kind of put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right. I felt like I just needed to get that out. You're going to see a lot. You're going to see the rise of a lot of people who are going to use this for evil more than good, and that's what I'm worried about. All right, gentlemen, let's move on to our second topic today, which is catching up on the Iran war, because Iran decided to remind us we were still at war, despite the administration's best efforts to,
Who's
think
that
it's
guy
over.
who kept saying the Iranians couldn't be trusted?
Yeah, all of us. All of us.
Yeah, actually, who's that group of guys?
Literally everyone. Yeah.
Well, not everyone, but it was definitely everyone on this channel for sure. And the chat's pretty good about that too. You guys, I don't feel like you guys were ever trusting on Iran. But hey, Donald Trump did not spend his life thinking about war. He spent his life making deals, and he thinks making a deal. He's a hammer, right? Every problem is a nail when you are a hammer. Cervix Hammer says, "I trust them." Of course you do. That's because you have a young Iranian boy locked in your bedroom right now. All right, Nick. Explosions reported in Erbil, Iraq, Bahrain, Kuwait. Significant air defense activity ongoing.
Sorry, you can keep talking.
So this is interesting because they see a missile going out. It's an interceptor. They see a missile coming in, and then in the middle of it, this guy has a wreck because he's fucking sitting there watching
the rockets go by.
Yeah, those are Patriots. It looks like.
I will never get over how excitable Middle Eastern peoples are,
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's see.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, so this is what happens when you intercept a missile. It basically breaks up into a bunch of flaming debris. And my understanding, based on all the digging I could do, is the intercepts were very good on the intercepts, and no U.S. casualties or major damage to, like, there was claims that one of the major headquarters was hit. That was confirmed
there were
false.
5 U.S. soldiers wounded at Al Ubaid or
were they from the missiles?
Yeah, from the intercept.
Oh, okay. Oh, is it falling debris from the intercepts?
Falling debris. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's what I was reading around. But yeah, there was definitely damage though. That being said, like for instance, one of the next things that we're going to look at here, I think. Yeah, this is more the interceptors going up to hit. So what you're seeing here are basically the falling debris. The interceptors go up and they're hitting the missiles.
Sorry.
Keep going.
Spicy rain.
All right. So this is a CENTCOM.
Aggressive Iranian behavior. That's even a weak statement. It's a friggin' attack.
Yeah.
Call it what it is.
U.S. partner, and this is a CENTCOM release. It's an Army PAO, Joe. I mean, this is he's actually it's probably a Navy PAO if I'm honest. U.S. partner forces defend against aggressive Iranian behavior. Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm surprised they didn't just put Iranian attack, because aggressive is a characterizing word, and generally in public affairs you don't use them like descriptors that are characterizing like that.
Well, aggressive behavior is like making comments. An attack is an attack.
Yeah, an attack is an attack. Right. It's exactly right. That's why I'm surprised they didn't use the word attack there. U.S. forces successfully defeated multiple Iranian ballistic missiles and drones and conducted self-defense strikes on Qasim Island in response to attempted attacks on, there it is in the actual sentence, by Iran across the Middle East on the 2nd of June. Iran launched several ballistic missiles towards regional neighbors. However, all failed to hit their intended targets. 2 Iranian missiles fired at Kuwait fell short or broke apart en route. 3 missiles launched at Bahrain. The irony, Joe, is that these misses actually hit the civilian passenger terminal. I had said earlier that I was surprised they hit the passenger terminal. It actually makes sense now that I find out that that's a mishit. Let's see. Moments earlier, the CENTCOM forces shot down 3 one-way attack drones launched by Iran towards civilian mariners that were rightfully transiting through regional waters. American forces also conducted self-defense strikes on an Iranian military ground control station at Qasim Island. No U.S. personnel were harmed. CENTCOM forces remain vigilant and ready to defend against the unwarranted Iranian aggression during the ongoing ceasefire. The interesting thing is, now this is not policy because these guys don't make policy, but at the time of this release, they still were considered in a state of ceasefire. That's a policy thing that the military is not allowed to change that ultimately. All right, let's go to the next one here. I think this is another, yes. No. This is our good old buddy Mario Nafal. Iran attacked 2 major U.S. bases in Kuwait, Ali Salim and Camp Arifjan. Explosions, multiple impacts. Iran's new one-up playbook. Every single American strike gets answered harder. Methodical escalation is name of the name. Here's the thing. I don't understand why this just shows that he's a garbage reporter, right? This is not one up by the Iranians. The U.S. strike on Qasim Island was in response to these attacks by Iran against U.S. and partner targets in the region. So Mario Nafal proving that his organization is garbage once again. And by the way, I don't believe that Mario Nafal wrote this. He hardly reads anything, writes anything that they put out. Moving on to the next one. So this is what I was talking about with the Kuwait International Airport. Oh, what? I think you're still showing the video. Yeah, there we go. Go to the next one. Destruction at the Kuwait International Airport after today's missile strikes by the Islamic regime, in which multiple civilians were injured. They deliberately. So here's the thing. Based on the CENTCOM reporting, and when they make a fact statement in their reporting, I tend to believe it because they're way more accountable than civilian reporters are. I think, and based on the way this looks, Joe, I think this is probably either a short missile or a partially damaged missile that then impacted and exploded when it hit the ceiling. Based on what we're seeing here, Joe, what do you reckon?
I'm no expert on that. I'll defer to your judgment on that, but I do think this was a very bad day for anyone who's inside there.
100%. This is the I think one of the passenger terminals in Kuwait International Airport. Big airport, but you can't just write off something like this. And I assume the attack happened at night based on what we saw.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if you covered it, but 1 person dead, 67 injured.
Yeah, that's in the airport, right?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like it hit a full terminal to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what time it happened. So I would assume that there were definitely a lot of people there if that many people. But with that kind of damage, only 1 person dies. It's kind of a miracle if you think about it. I mean,
I think so too. Yeah.
We have no idea how bad the other injured people are, but I would, if you told me that place was occupied at the time and less than 10 people died, I would have been shocked.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here's this is Nick Sorter. Breaking U.S. military carried out self-defense strikes on Qasem Island before Iran launched missiles at the. So he says here it's before Iran launched missiles at U.S. military installations in the region, which that doesn't seem to jive with what the CENTCOM announcement said. One of the Iranian missiles seemed to have broke apart in the air, causing burning shrapnel to rain down on Kuwait. That kind of makes sense based on what we saw with the. So it was probably a missile that was hit and had a lot of unburnt propellant still in it and an explosive warhead, and that would have made that kind of a mess hitting that airport. And if it's broken apart instead of like a unitary thing, that would spread the damage actually. In an area like that, almost like a cluster munition.
I think at that point, it's irrelevant whether it's still intact or not. You took a missile strike.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right. Let's see what's next here. U.S. just bombed an Iranian island. This is a Fox News report. Let's... I don't know what
in the Middle East. Iran's currently shelling military bases in Kuwait and Bahrain with ballistic missiles and drones. So far, all of them have been intercepted by U.S. forces. And now U.S. Central Command's responding with self-defense strikes.
Joe, did you see that boat that they got hit? The secondary, the missile that was launched on it fired off like as part of the secondary explosion?
Yeah, but the second one looked like a submarine, right? At the dock?
Yeah, let's just keep. I think they're playing the video over and over again.
This all started earlier today when the Iranians began targeting commercial vessels in the Gulf with drones.
Here's the thing, though.
Knocked all of them down.
I have been reliably informed they don't have any of those left.
That's why I don't think this footage is of these attacks. Right now, this next one coming up is because we've got the story in the thing.
I just want to issue an update on that. So they don't have any of their bigger ones left. We've accounted for all of those, but their midget subs.
That was not a midget sub.
I know it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. Is that the midget subs that we are saying that they're still unaccounted for.
The problem I have is that all these news agencies, no matter how much I like or dislike them, tend to use stock or file footage. So this could be footage.
File footage right on the screen.
Hitting back, blasting a blockade runner heading toward Kargil.
All right, go ahead and push pause here.
You know what's funny? They used the shorter version of this. In the longer version, you can actually see the laser pinging off the thing throughout various different parts of the video. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, go to the one I've got highlighted. It's the next link on the that one right there. This is that same piece of footage, but I think it might be a longer version. It's a 20-second version. So
yeah, so
U.S. forces.
Watch right here, you'll see it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
the beep. There it is again.
Yeah. CENTCOM disabled non-compliant vessel in Arabian Gulf. U.S. forces disabled an unladen oil tanker that was attempting to sail towards Iranian port on the Arabian Gulf on the 2nd of June. CENTCOM. So here's what I bet. I bet we hit this first. They fired based on us hitting this, and then we hit them back based on them firing. That actually logically makes sense.
Something out here about civilian mariners. That was a rocket directly into the center of the engine room. You might think, well, I didn't see a big explosion. That's because it was contained inside the boilers and the machinery in the engine room. Men died in that strike right there. It may not look like it to you, but civilian seamen died in that strike, and that's what you get for serving the wrong power.
Right. U.S. CENTCOM enforced blockade measures against the Botswana flag MT Lexi as it transited international waters toward Karg Island.
Maritime powerhouse Botswana.
The ship's crew ignored repeated warnings, failing to comply with directions from the U.S. forces multiple times over a 24-hour period. U.S. Aircrew ultimately disabled the vessel by firing a Hellfire missile into the ship's engine room. very likely fired by an Apache, ironically enough. I mean, that's the platform that I know of that's in that region that carries Hellfires the most prolifically. CENTCOM began implementing a blockade of all maritime traffic entering and exiting Iranian ports on April 13th. The U.S. forces have disabled 6 commercial vessels and redirected 122 as the ceasefire with Iran continues. That's interesting. That's the first time I've seen that number, Joe. 122 redirects, since this thing kind of kicked off.
It all depends, though, on what you're actually crediting as a redirect, right?
Yeah.
Is a redirect people who just avoided it in general, or is that ships you actually ordered to turn around?
And then they actually complied.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I bet the answer is yes on that, because that would be kind of like, okay, it's really, if it's a non-incident, then we don't have to report on it. You know what I mean? But this is the first time I've seen that number reported, so that's interesting. But it could be of a wide variety of incidents.
You could count as a redirect someone who approached the area, got a bulletin over their computer, and turned around and went the other way, and you did nothing to actually make that happen. So I don't
exactly
know.
Right. That's exactly right. Let's see. What do we got? I think we have one more left. Oh, yeah. Here we go. This is interesting. I'm going to take a minute to read. I think they may have actually. Yeah. So this is the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, better known as MBS. Mohammed bin Salman, and I'm just going to kind of, you don't have to play the thing. If you want to just show it, you don't have to play it, because I'm just going to read the subtitles. It says, there are undoubtedly many destructive projects in the world today. Unfortunately, the most of these destructive projects are currently found in the Middle East. And right next to us in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, there is an Iranian regime that we know has a pure ideological goal. Its aim is not to serve the interest of Iran or the Iranian people, but to serve the Iranian ideological interests. The most recent being when they received $150 billion. They didn't even build a single street, housing complex, or industrial zone in Iran. Their clear goal is it's clear that they only spent that money on launching missiles at Saudi Arabia and supporting terrorist organizations in many parts of the world. Furthermore, the Iranian regime's work in supporting terrorism is not limited to Hezbollah and the Houthis. We find today many of al-Qaeda's leadership are based in Iran, including the son of Osama bin Laden, who was nurtured and raised in Iran, and now is trying to become the next leader of al-Qaeda. We are all aware of these risks, and we are communicating on how to deal with them to ensure the entire world is safe and secure, whether in the Middle East, Europe, or anywhere else. From destructive ideology. The irony here is that everybody says that Trump is fighting a war for the Israelis. If I had a criticism of why Donald Trump is fighting this war, it's almost more on the behalf of guys like MBS.
How many Saudi sorties have happened in this fight?
Yeah, I don't know of any, Joe. Gosh,
0.
That's funny.
And in this, MBS just said he's willing to fight to the last American against Iran.
That is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
He's perfectly willing to spend American treasure and lives to make this fight for him. And they have advanced fighter jets. They have capable pilots. They have armor resources, and they have ground troops. They will not spend any of them on this fight.
I'll go a little further. They have the most capable small boat navy in the entire region. They could
capable. The IRGC has the most capable.
I don't know about now.
I do. They're still effective. Despite facing the United States Navy for almost 90 days, the IRGC is still able to do whatever it wants in the water.
Being effective in raw tonnage doesn't matter. Anyway, they could absolutely do something about it, but they don't.
Right.
Here's the irony about Saudi Arabia, right? Saudi Arabia doesn't want to get into a fight because they saw what happens when they get into a fight when they sent their guys into Yemen. Now, I'm not saying they were all cowards and they were all ineffective, but they found out that paying for a really nice, shiny military doesn't mean that it works in the field when the chips are down, because both UAE and Saudi Arabia brought in contractors from various countries, and specifically with Saudi Arabia, they brought in people like the Jundis or whatever from Sudan to fight for them in Yemen, and in UAE they had an entire battalion or brigade or something along the lines, like of Central Americans, mostly Colombians. That were fighting for them, and all of their gear was like brand new American gear for the most part.
Man, I'll tell you, I ran into a lot of Colombians at a certain base in North Carolina that was owned by a private company. So draw your own conclusions there.
Yeah, in the murky, wet part of the eastern part of the state, I would imagine.
Where the water is somewhat black.
That's what I was trying to say it without being murky and wet versus black and water.
I got to address somebody at the door real quick, but pyrometrics, until Saudi Arabia cuts a check, I don't actually believe that they're willing to pay us for it. I have not.
All right, Joe. When you get back from the door, get ready for your prediction. All right, that's all we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys being here. Be ready for this type of protest that we saw in England here in America. Grassroots, local, and indignant, right? But realize that if you act in these kind of public way, and I'm not saying don't do it, I'm saying you got to be smart about it, because you never know what kind of power abuse the local constabulary will attempt to do. Now, they, like what we found, they can't arrest everybody, right? Look at the New Jersey; they only got dozens of people. The irony is none of the people from New Jersey have been released yet, which is kind of funny. Because they all thought they were going to get out in about 3 hours, and that has not been the case yet. And I bet there are going to be some federal charges on some of these people before it's all said and done. But if you do decide to take part in an energetic protest like what we saw in Northampton, be ready. Don't make it easy for them to identify you. Like, don't wear your favorite hat, like me, like this hat. Don't let your face be easily recognized, i.e. wear a mask, like a balaclava or something like that, right? Some sunglasses, so they can't tell that it's a blue-eyed man that was, swinging a traffic cone around or something like that, right? And don't take your fucking cell phone with you. This is when you need to have your Baofeng and your little earpiece, right? That's when that actually works really fucking well. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm not encouraging any of you to do anything disruptive or illegal for sure. But if you are in an area like that, don't get accidentally round up a month later. Joe,
check the flock camera mapping websites too, and see where the flock cameras are. But anywho, I will point out that we're going to give ourselves a pat on the back on this show, because just 2 days ago, when we were making predictions, we said something was going to move on the Iran front, and something moved on the Iran front. That's why y'all come to Future Conflict. We tell you what's going to be happening. I expect the protests in England to take hold. Yes, I said England, not the United Kingdom, because as we all know, that kingdom is not very united. And I saw a lot of English flags, not UK flags. And that's actually significant given what's going on, right? So we will see those things grow. And I really think we're going to see combat between the U.S. and Iran actually just keep on ticking up and ticking up.
Yeah. Watcher?
I am watching domestically as the black portions of the communist left that hyped up the BLM thing are trying very hard to make the very, very, very obviously justified shooting of a 14-year-old by a store owner when that 14-year-old pointed a Glock at his son into a giant racial thing. And I truly do believe if you are Asian, you probably should have your head on a particularly good swivel for the next little while, because they are starting to talk about organized violence.
Well, there are about 70 police officers stationed in that parking lot because the locals want to burn down this thing. And they keep screaming, "Justice for Cyrus." The problem is justice came for Cyrus, and they're not happy about it.
Cyrus got justice. That's exactly what happened. As I just said, though, I think it's important to remember as they scream about that he was just a child, that if you're old enough to carry the Glock, you're old enough to die of hemostatic shock.
You know, the curfew in New Jersey is over, and so they're starting to come back. I think last night there was some activity. It was more of the kind of BLM style, raise your fist kind of activity, more protest than riot. But I wouldn't be surprised if when they didn't get spicy, that the numbers will start to increase, which will then embolden them to be more vigorous in their riotous behavior. So I wouldn't be surprised if we wouldn't see Newark pop off again, especially by the weekend. I think that, you know, there's some odd symmetry there, Joe. Curfew comes in like on Monday. A bunch of people get arrested. It's all dead during the week, but come Friday, you know, when the out-of-towners have plenty of time to come back in, here they go. Gentlemen, anything else we need to talk about?
We could talk about my beautiful rhyme.
Oh, well, I did not see it, Joe. Let's see. Let's watch it. Do you have it? Can you post it?
I can look it up.
I'll let Joe recite his poetry for the people.
I said, while sitting on the couch getting fatter, come watch the show and learn why white lives matter.
There you go. That's nice. That's a good one. All right, guys. That's all I got for today. Thank you for being here. We will be back on Friday, as always. Same time, same channel. If you haven't done already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Let your friends out there know that you're getting some good stuff over here in the Council on Future Conflict. Go to the CFC locals, please, if you would. The link is down in the description. I put a new I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday. I put the new article up. So give it a read. I think it is of value. Let me know if you read it. Please hit the like button. Just let me know. That way I get an idea of how many people are going over there to see it. And if you have something to say, please feel free to put a comment in there. I would appreciate that. All right. We will be back on Friday. Until then, you guys stay safe.